Rivers and seas naturally contain sufficient levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide to keep aquatic life of plants, fish and microorganisms such as bacteria and algae. The main source of oxygen in water is atmospheric air, where oxygen is slightly soluble in water. In addition, phytoplankton, algae and aquatic plants produce oxygen in water in the process of photosynthesis. In seas and oceans, more oxygen dissolves in water as a result of waves and water currents in the ocean, which increase the rate of gas exchange between the atmosphere and water. Overall, these natural processes provide marine creatures with the oxygen necessary for their survival. Solubility of the two gases O2 and CO2 in water. The concentration of oxygen gas in the air is about 500 times higher than that of carbon dioxide, but oxygen gas is about 50 times less soluble in water. The solubility of the two gases in salty ocean water is about 20 to 30% lower than their solubility in fresh water. In general, the solubility of the two gases decreases at higher temperatures. As the temperature increases, the percentage of CO2 dissolved in water decreases, but at a greater rate than the percentage of oxygen in water. The graph shows the relationship between the solubility of oxygen and carbon dioxide in fresh water at different temperatures under normal atmospheric composition. The effect of increasing the percentage of dissolved oxygen in water A. Enhancement improving of respiration. Aquatic organisms depend on dissolved oxygen in water for respiration. Increasing the amount of oxygen in water improves their ability to breathe. Improve metabolism. High levels of dissolved oxygen can support the metabolism of aquatic organisms and improve growth. C. Increased activity. Adequate levels of dissolved oxygen stimulate aquatic organisms to be more active in swimming, hunting, and reproduction. D. Maintain balance of the ecosystem. A healthy level of dissolved oxygen in water is critical in maintaining a stable aquatic ecosystem by supporting diverse populations of fish, invertebrates, and plants. Sources of carbon dioxide in the aquatic environment. 1. The atmosphere is the main source of carbon dioxide, CO2, in water. Carbon dioxide is exchanged between the atmosphere and water. 2. Marine organisms produce carbon dioxide gas that dissolves in the surrounding water as a waste product of their metabolism. 3. Human activities such as industrial pollution and the decomposition of organic matter carried by agricultural wastewater. The effect of increased CO2 in water on aquatic organisms. Increased CO2 in water can have several negative effects on aquatic organisms, including 1. Acidification. When CO2 levels are high in the atmosphere, it can dissolve in greater amounts in water, leading to an increase in carbonic acid and a decrease in the pH value of the water. This acidification can be harmful to many species of aquatic organisms, especially those in sensitive life stages, such as the egg and larval stages. 2. Weak respiration. High levels of carbon dioxide can reduce the amount of dissolved oxygen in the water necessary for aquatic organisms to breathe. And 3. Reduced calcification. Many marine organisms, such as corals, mollusks, and some species of plankton, depend on calcium carbonate to form their shells or skeletons. Increased CO2 converts it into calcium bicarbonate, which dissolves in water, disrupting the ability of these organisms to build or maintain their skeletons. The effect of CO2 deficiency in water on aquatic organisms. First, reduced photosynthesis. Aquatic plants and algae need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Decreasing the availability of CO2 in water may limit their ability to produce energy, affecting the overall productivity of the ecosystem. Second, effects on food chains. A change in the level of CO2 in the water can affect productive organisms such as phytoplankton and algae, thereby affecting organisms at higher levels of the food chain. And third, disruption of pH balance. Low concentrations of CO2 may lead to an increase in the pH of water, negatively affecting sensitive species that are adapted to a certain pH range. In the world of aquatic creatures, every organism has a set of adaptations that help it to survive in its environment, whether it is a deep ocean or a shallow lake. In this lesson, we will explore these physiological, behavioral, and structural adaptations that allow aquatic organisms to survive under different environmental conditions. Physiological or functional adaptation. Organisms in the aquatic environment develop special physiological adaptations that enable them to survive in their environments. That is, adaptations or modifications in the way they perform their biological or vital functions. For example, some deep ocean fish have special abilities to regulate respiration under the state of oxygen deficiency. To adapt to the high water pressure at great depths, deep sea fish have strong and durable arteries and veins that can withstand the high pressure. They also have the ability to effectively adjust their blood pressure to equalize the external pressure. A famous example is the electric eel, which lives at depths of thousands of meters, where oxygen levels are extremely low. These fish have developed very large gills with very fine capillaries that maximize the efficiency of extracting the little oxygen found in water. In addition, they can slow down their metabolism to minimize their oxygen needs. Osmosis and osmotic pressure. Osmosis is the phenomenon of water transfer from a dilute solution to a concentrated solution through a semi-permeable membrane separating the two solutions, as shown in the figure. Osmotic pressure is the pressure created in a solution due to the difference in solute concentration in the solution and leads to the diffusion of water from the less concentrated solution, which has low osmotic pressure, towards the more concentrated solution, which has higher osmotic pressure.